sometimes you have to be
a real man
to be the best girl.
And we are live. All right, so here we are. I'm with my friend.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Yeah, and we're just going to look at right now the history of femboys, and whatever else we want to watch and commentate on, because that's what we're gonna do.
Enemy spotted.
Seems pretty.
Femboys, with their insane rise in popularity in recent years,
They have
one
been pretty
question has
popular.
always struck individuals.
Ironically, I found that
To answer
interestingly,
question-
they're popular everywhere, but they're very popular with like right-wing people too. Like a lot of them, like a lot of right-wing people have like a weird obsession with the concept of femboys, even though they're very like transphobic and very like traditional. It's
I think
very
that
strange.
I don't think anybody can help being fascinated by femboys and fascinated by gender in general, which
Yeah.
femboys kind of bring to the forefront of our minds by being kind of a combination of gender qualities.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Question.
Yeah, because
We must
gender
dive
is,
into the
entirely
history
just
of
a fun thing to play around with, and it really does bring forth the ridiculousness of our concept of gender, just because
femboys and why
it's
they
the
were not
opposite
popular
of,
to begin
the
with.
traditional
But before that,
masculine
we must first define
thing,
what a femboy
and
is.
it's fun.
The general definition of a femboy is someone who identifies as male but possesses feminine characteristics.
Yeah, and have you heard of this person, Finster, with like a 5 in their name?
No, I haven't.
They are let me just, or no, it's this one, FINN5TER. They got in a little bit of a sort of a bit of a kind of, like, people were being mean to him because he's a guy. He's a real femboy. He's English.
I just thought if you could go back to the crossbow picture, is that him?
Yeah, that's him.
So what I think is interesting about this is almost something like
He's very pretty.
well,
Indeed.
no, that's not what I mean. What I
Oh.
mean is that he is, right, he's male, but has a female identity, and then is superimposing again on the feminine male archetype, another male archetype. So it's almost
yeah.
like masculine,
The power.
feminine masculinity, right? So it's a
Yeah.
very interesting combination of gender characteristics.
Yeah, it's very, because again, he is completely cis.
The shovel.
The shovel. Yeah, again there too.
The
The
shovel.
crossbow, the shovel.
It's such a complex combination of gender qualities that you can't help but admire it.
Yeah, it really is, and he's he's a great guy too.
He's beautiful.
Yeah, he is. He's he's just a very very funny guy too. But it was like, I remember he got into a huge he had a thing with her, Belle Delphine. I remember. Do you know her? She's very internet famous.
I've heard of her, yeah.
Yeah, she's funny because she was the bathwater person. She was the
that one, yeah, I remember
the
that.
gamer girl
Yeah.
bathwater thing. I've never seen him. Is that him? I think it is maybe. That's an older one, I guess, when he was new into his thing. But yeah, so yeah, he got into like, some people had some issues with him because they felt like he was taking away from trans issues because he identifies as male, and so some people got a little bit like.
Is it that they are upset that someone can be so beautiful but also be male?
That's what I'm thinking. It's like they're sort of like, they're
a
like,
little bit silly.
Yeah, if you identify as male but I identify as female,
You
like,
can't be a beautiful feminine
yeah,
person.
I
if
think
you're
it was
identifying as male.
unfortunately a little bit of jealousy. I think there was. I'm not gonna lie. I do think it was a little bit of that. But like their argument was like we are female. I think, and they're like, you're setting us back because you identify as male but are presenting as a trans person. But like, no, he's not.
Right. Well, the problem with so I think a lot of trans people sometimes feel as though people who are non-binary and gender fluid, they feel as though that the complexity of these gender identities is confusing cis-het people, and that it's making it even more complicated for them to understand, which makes people who have trans identities who feel that their identity is very simple to understand a
Which it
little
is.
frustrated.
Yeah.
It isn't. It isn't. It depends
Yeah,
on the trans person.
That's true. Actually, yeah, that's a good
Because
point,
like
yeah.
I would say, I identify as transgender, but I would also say that I am kind of a little bit gender fluid in a lot of ways. And so I think that each person's gender identity is a little bit more complex. Even cis people, I think, have some people will have feminine or masculine qualities even if they are cisgender, right?
Yeah, exactly. I agree too. Like, it's like, gender again. It's just a like. It's a presentation thing. It's not sex. It's like, it can be related, but it's different.
Well, sometimes it's not even about intentional presentation, like
Yeah, it's just how you sort of are.
sometimes, yeah,
you present yourself,
right.
but like subconsciously.
Or not even, it's not like you're intentionally trying to present
Yeah.
a certain gender quality. Sometimes those gender qualities come out in a natural, what's the word? Unmediated, no.
Like
unintentionally, right? Like, I'm trans, and even before I was openly identifying as trans, my voice was always like this. I didn't intentionally
really?
try to sound, yeah, I didn't intentionally try to sound this way. It was just how my voice most naturally came, right? So
I did not know that. That's
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, I never did voice training or anything like that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Would you think was that part? And this is just a question for you. Do you think that was part of you being trans, or you just think that was just a coincidence? in a
I
way?
have no idea.
Yeah, and it could be both. Yeah, it could be both. Neither. It doesn't matter. But I think it's interesting. Yeah, I think that because gender is just a thing. So, and it can be anything. So. it's
This
kind of
this can
it's interesting.
include, but is not limited to, how they dress, makeup, or their mannerisms. The first recorded history of femboys we got goes back to the Bible, baby.
That's actually true.
we
It's
don't
I love
know
that biblical
exactly-
femboy.
Yeah, biblical femboys. Yeah, back to the
but
Bible.
we do have an estimate.
Who was the first
It is
biblical
estimated that
femboy?
the Hebrew
That's a good
Bible
question.
was
Let's see
written
if
around
he says it.
1200 to 1000
1200.
BCE.
Wow.
The Hebrew Bible contains 24 books written in it, but the book that we're interested in it
gonna
is
speed it up a little bit.
Deuteronomy. Now,
Oops,
since
not
I
what I
personally
I'm kind of
can't
curious.
speak
I wanna hear
Hebrew,
this
I'm going
part.
to read
Yeah.
out of the King James Version. However, the meanings of the verses will not change. Deuteronomy
might be.
22:5 King James
want
Version
me to keep it at
states,
normal speed?
"The
Yeah.
woman shall
Okay.
not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man
Ooh, okay. So,
Wait,
but
let's-
this is the King James
let's
version.
meditate on this
put
for
on
a
a
Yeah.
woman."
So
Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment for all
To do so
that
an
are
abomination.
to them.
that's the King James version. Though. I feel like that's pretty. That's like
But
the
we
newest.
also,
text.
we also need to keep in mind, right, that the Bible has been translated so many different times. We also need to remember that the Bible was written by people 2,000 years ago who, you know.
Yeah. It's very. Yeah. It's a very old.
I think you know, spirituality keeps evolving as time goes on. But you know, so what? So right.
Here's the thing, though. Like that is such a vague statement, though. Like,
It
what
is,
is
it
a
is.
what is
Okay,
a yeah?
so right,
yeah.
right,
What's
so,
where
right,
pertaineth to
right,
a man and a woman?
Right.
you
So
know?
yeah. So,
Like,
okay.
what-
Wait. Right. And like really, neither shall a man.
Yeah, you
put
can't
on a
wear-
woman's garment. So what if a woman's garment was a T-shirt?
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, or like,
Right?
but let's think like back then. I think they did probably have more strict gender presentation rules, like where women would
Well,
hide their
I
hair.
bet
and
you
stuff,
that they
but-
had things like robes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Like
though. Yeah, they all
robes
wore
where-
flowing
If you even
robes.
look at during Jesus' time, they all appeared to be wearing kind of shapeless robes, men
yeah, it
and
was-
women. So it's hard to really.
Even in the video, he was like, I mean, again, these are mostly male guys, but look at like that's all like here's some. I mean, this is more modern, but like they're all wearing these white flowing things.
Right, the priests wear these long dress-like robes, and the
Yeah.
nuns wear these long dress-like robes.
Yeah, it's literally
so-
their most of their. I mean, obviously, I guess the yarmulke would be a male
Okay,
thing.
so that's the yeah.
One of the only few things, and I'm sure there's probably feminine hair pieces
Yeah.
because they always want to hide femininity in any fucking
Deuteronomy
way
I
they
usually,
can.
I usually see them wear like cloak type things, and they all wear that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I think
exactly, it's
Everyone's
all-
always been dressing
King James
gender neutral,
Version
whatever they wanted
states,
anyway.
Yeah,
"The
so
woman
it doesn't
shall not
even
wear."
make sense.
This
It's-
really is only like relevant to. I wonder when this translation was done. Right? Was it
Yeah.
in like the 1500s where they were like really into gender exaggeration or something?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Let's see, when did the King James Bible come out? My version, 1629.
Oh, so they
Okay.
were well into.
Yeah, that's
they
way
were-
into AD.
Yeah, because that was
Yeah.
they were wearing
Originally
really
1611.
really strictly differentiated.
Yeah,
Gender
so,
clothing.
yeah, that's probably a very
So that
new
was probably
thing.
like a thing that they just added to just make things more difficult.
Yeah, the AD, yeah, exactly. It was when it was very Majesty of Style. King James has been described one of the most important books in English. Yeah, because it's the most. It has definitely been a very important part in
Right. So
driving.
at that point, they didn't want men wearing petticoats because they looked hot in them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They were
1600s
For
era
that which
femboys.
pertaineth unto
Yeah,
a man,
and it's
neither-
interesting. What's interesting though is that it does say the first one is the woman. It's not like first a man shall not wear a woman's clothes and then a woman shall also not. It's the woman shall not wear what pertains to a man and neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. So it seems like the more important one to them was that the women do not wear
Can we
male
take a
stuff.
moment to imagine God being mad that
Yeah.
I wear a dress? Could you imagine
Yeah.
him just looking down like, oh, this pisses me off?
Yeah, just like
I really don't like this.
I'm just,
This is pretty
I'm
bad.
too busy giving kids cancer.
Oh my
Come on.
gosh.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Wow.
Yeah, and other
Well,
stuff that's completely out of.
well, I think ultimately this is a little bit silly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, really? Yeah.
So,
But I
man,
do find it
fine.
interesting that. Again, that they start with the women, because I think it is really that they're
Ooh,
more
that's a good
worried.
point.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a
Yeah,
good
that they're more
point.
worried about women wearing men's
That's a very
clothes
good
than men
point.
wearing
And
women's
back,
clothes.
and back during this period, they did not view women as equals.
Exactly,
right?
that's what I'm saying. And I bet
Yeah.
there was a lot more men that were probably.
So that might have been a
wearing
big part
things.
of the agenda. You're right.
Yeah, so I think it was actually more
Yeah.
about women not.
Yeah,
not
you're right.
Wearing
Yeah.
men's clothes and
I think
being
you're right.
being brought up to the same fucking level.
woman's
So that's an
garment,
interesting thing.
For all that do so are
because
abomination unto the Lord thy God.
yeah, it
Now,
just like the neither shall a man thing. It's just more of a like and also
Yeah,
by the way
for all
yeah.
that do so are abomination.
But yeah, like they're
unto
all
the
wearing
Lord thy
robes.
God.
I mean, obviously
Now,
in the desert, robes are pretty useful utilitarian clothing because it's hot. You
you're
want something
probably
that's
like,
flowing
"Wow,
and gets
what
air
the
in.
flip does that even mean? I will give
Is
you
that
the
his avatar?
Lilacs translation.
Oh, it is actually, yeah, he's
Essentially,
that
if you
little
wear
samurai.
something that your gender does not usually wear, it's Jover, dude. The reason this is important is that back in these days, if you did things against
He's
the
gonna
word of
explain
God,
it, yeah. Oh.
you were basically game ended.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, don't be nope.
Now-
God don't like it, and by God I mean me specifically, the one in power. Nope, I'm not
You
cool
can
with
kind
it.
of imagine why it would naturally make sense that fem.
This is so. I mean, this is Egypt, but yeah, even then they have very like the priests and everything, very ornate
would want to
clothing.
stay hidden. That's pretty much why femboys weren't really recorded back in the day, because they were essentially playing Skyrim with 100 sneak at this point. The next important years for our femboy history timeline are the years.
Yeah, so I think it actually was probably mostly about the headwear, in my opinion, because that was really the main differentiator. Because most of the robes
In
are
this
pretty
case,
utilitarian. Yeah, they
66 to 67
they want women's hair
AD.
covered and they
during
have
these
hats
years,
for men.
Rome was popping off, dude. But then Rome got a leader called Nero.
It's got a nice fucking chin there.
Nero.
Yeah.
There
and
you
let's
go.
just
Yeah.
say he was not
Look at it. It's like
Right.
a good
Yeah.
leader or individual.
no wearing women's clothes. I can't do that. No. Only I can do that. That's for me. Not for you.
One of Rome's most infamous rulers. However, he is also notorious for his extreme cruelty and debauchery.
Yeah, no,
or,
not a
as
great
what
guy.
we like to call it today, Nero was an extreme degenerate. The reason Nero is important to us is because we need to understand.
Yeah, not as bad as Caligula, but I heard that Caligula was kind of
Caligula had fun
character
with
assassinated.
he had fun going out dressing in women's clothes.
Yeah,
actually.
yeah,
He would,
they
like,
did.
go
There's a lot
out
of
dressed like
Roman
Venus,
trans
just like
things. Yeah.
prancing down the street. Type of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. Was he the one who who actually wanted to identify as a woman? Because I know that there was a straight up emperor.
That was might have been Elagabalus.
Elagabalus?
Elagabalus.
Yeah, and there was another one that had a wife that was a guy that they dressed. It was like a young man that they dressed as a woman too. I'm not sure their name. But
It was probably either Caligula or Elagabalus, most likely.
let's see. Because I know that there's.
Because I know Elagabalus was very feminine. And,
Let's see. Roman.
there's this painting.
Probably gonna get into it in the video
Apparently,
too.
Elagabalus held this huge party, and he dropped like millions of rose petals down from a canopy above.
Oh yeah, he tried to
like,
crush people.
suffocated
Yeah,
or
I've heard that
something.
too. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Oh, Elagabalus. I typed in Roman Emperor femboy and then a brief history of Elagabalus, the
Yep,
transgender.
that's right.
Yep.
It was Elagabalus.
Yeah, so it had to be them. But there was one that like had like a wife though.
I wonder
too.
if they
That
mentioned
was-
Elagabalus in this video.
I bet they will. I
It would
think
be a
it is
shame if they
coming
didn't, because
Yeah, Roman Emperor.
Elagabalus is actually interesting because nobody really wanted Elagabalus, but he was associated as kind of a sun god, like a solar type of deity, and so he was trying to bring in like solar worship into the Roman
Yeah.
kingdom. It was really interesting.
Just
He has
giving me Elagabalus again. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's interesting. So he was.
Yeah, he's a really interesting one.
Or she, I guess.
She.
Yeah,
She.
she was very
married
interesting.
to a woman
Elagabalus.
named Poppaea. I'm hoping I'm
Okay,
pronouncing
yeah.
that right. She died in 65.
Yeah, this is what I thought. Okay, so it was Nero, I think.
Maybe. This was
Because his wife died and then he
supposedly
replaced
in
her with a guy dressed like her.
childbirth,
Oh, okay.
Although it was later rumored that Nero had actually kicked her to death. Then, at
What?
the beginning of the year 66 AD,
Jeez.
Nero married a woman named Statilia.
Oh, maybe you're thinking
But
of a
in
different
that
person
same
then.
year, Nero saw a young slave boy
Yeah, that's
called
what I was talking about.
Sporus. Sporus,
Yeah,
according
yeah,
to
look at
Nero,
the
a young slave
statue.
boy called Sporus.
That's the slave boy Sporus.
Sporus, according to Nero, looked a lot like Poppaea.
Yeah,
or
he
the
reminded
wife
him of
that
his
Nero
wife.
Probably
I
did
see
kill
it.
instead of
Yeah,
die
I mean, in
in
the statues,
childbirth.
certainly.
Now, Nero wanted to get married to Sporus as a result of this.
That's gotta be a
However, there was
weird
still one slight issue.
Situation.
Spor-
Like, you,
There's-
boy, you look like my old wife.
Yeah,
that I kicked to death. Can I marry you now?
Well, there's another
Well,
one.
I'm
There's,
not asking, I'm
there's
telling
another one. I forget which Roman emperor this was.
A lot of Roman emperors.
But he was like I think legally like got married to this boy named Antinous, and I think he was kind of feminine. I don't know if that's really related, but I just thought of that now.
The guy married to the Antinous person?
Antinous. Let me see.
Yeah, you look it
was
up.
a male. So Nero, with his diabolical thinking, came up with the only logical solution: castration.
Oh my god, I forgot that part. Wow. Yeah, the emperor. Yeah, I was making a joke of like, yeah, boy, you look like my old wife. Can you be her? And I'm not asking, I'm telling. But yeah, he did that and then cut the guy's dick off. Jeez.
For anyone
Which
that does
honestly
not know
probably
it-
was not even that uncommon because that was the time of a lot of eunuchs, which do not have genitals
Castration is.
for singing purposes if I'm required. They don't want them to go through puberty.
I can give a fortnight
pretty crazy.
demonstration. So
Okay,
it's
it was
kinda like you
it was Emperor Hadrian.
Hadrian, I've heard of that.
Who had a romance with Antinous and tried to like immortalize him in like sculptures, and like everyone was like more or less okay with it.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
pretty
it was
cool.
just because also a lot of Roman history was like very misogynist. Like they were just like they hated women so much that they would like have sex with guys just because they didn't like women.
I don't even think that's necessarily true. I think that they just I think it was that they were comfortable with that.
Well, I
think they
definitely
were
agree with
comfortable
that.
with both.
But
Because there's
there was-
definitely you might be right. Oh, I don't know.
There was the
I
only
don't
thing I know is
exactly.
that there was a thing where they didn't care about like homosexual sex, but they as long as you were giving it, they didn't want you to be the receiver. Like that was viewed as.
I
bad.
know that the Spartans in the Spartan army
Yeah, there's a lot
used
of
to
Greeks
have
that too.
they used to like have sex with each other, and then they would all be like more into men, I guess, at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they were to return home and get married, the women would shave their heads and dress as another Spartan army member, which is kind of like, are they really?
Huh.
Is that what these women want to be doing?
Yeah,
Do they
well,
want-
yeah, it didn't really matter.
It's really
unfortunately, that's the
it
problem.
didn't.
Yeah.
It's really interesting.
Although Spartan women were actually some of the most empowered women because when the guy died, they got all of their husband's possessions, which was not a common thing, and including their property, their house, and their slaves, and all that other shit. Which again, Spartan history. I mean, the whole thing was they built on the enslaving of the Helots or whatever. They were this other class of people that they were literally the whole Spartan thing was like these guys that we enslave, they're gonna rebel one day, so we need to be really strong to force them down. It's all just it's all just hierarchy pushing down. That's all that this stuff is. It's about just a lot of just power through strength and pushing others down. That was the
Take
main
two cherries, but you want to eat the two cherries.
main sort of
individually, not
society
together.
thing.
So you load up Fruit Ninja and bam.
I forgot what I wanted to say, but yeah, that was how the Spartans were, and a lot of the Romans were like that as well. So, but there was that. There's also another. I'm not sure if it was Greek or Roman, but there was. Have you heard of the army of like? It was an army of they got a whole army of where they would get two male lovers that would be like love
Yes, I
bonded.
heard of that. I
Yeah,
heard of that.
and
I
that was
heard
their
of
whole
that.
thing. Was like
Yeah.
because they would fight for each other so hard because they were so in love with each other. I want to look the yeah. Let's see. Army of male lovers.
Army of Lovers.
Yeah.
That's a good band.
That is that a real band?
Yeah, it is. Army
wow,
of Lovers.
that is a cool name too.
Yeah.
Army of Male Lovers
They
is
sing that song,
interesting.
I'm crucified by my-" and they're all dressed like really like
The Sacred
cool.
Band of Thebes. Yeah, I don't think I've heard of them. I'm gonna look that up. Let's see. So Army of Lovers, just get rid of the male, and then so yeah, but it was the Sacred Band of Thebes is the name of the Army of Male Lovers. Yeah, Army of Lovers Wikipedia. Swedish dance pop, 1987. You know, I
Yeah,
might
they're
have.
cool. They have a
Oh,
lot
you were
of
talking
cool
about Crucified.
songs.
Yep, that's the
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
I'll listen to that later. We can't listen to that because unfortunately that will get the stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it'll.
Essentially,
Even if no one's
Sporus
even
was the
watching.
first
Which there we have a
man-made
few
femboy,
viewers.
and he was
We
forced
got
to do it.
oh,
Sporus'
react to
story-
Casa Loco, living in the USA. Why does YouTube censor react with the E? What is it doing?
I have no idea.
Does our stream name look stupid? Did it?
Are they saying that they can't react?
Yeah. What it says?
What does E mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It says YouTube censor racked with the E. I'm not sure what you mean by that, L-man.
Why does YouTube censor reactions? Probably like because can you react to videos with like emojis like you can on like Facebook and things like that? Is that what they're
No, I
saying?
think they mean the react like that we're doing. We're like
okay,
reacting to
okay,
the video.
okay.
I don't know about that, L-man, but we'll as long as you stick around, we can look up the Casa Loco thing after this video, which is about halfway over. So yeah, you're talking about the stream name is it just says racked. I'm gonna look that up. That's an interesting thing.
Well, let's
I just wanna. It'll take a couple of seconds. Blah blah blah. It's gotta load. I just go to my channel. I don't know. It says it has a different title, but
if you could ask them, can you kind of rephrase the question?
yes, please. If you could, Mr. L-man, if you could rephrase your question, we can perhaps answer it for you. They censor it on every live stream of the content section, so it's a YouTube thing. If you say the word react, is that what you're saying? You can't put the word react in. You can't write the word react; it gets censored. That's a very interesting thing. No, you can't type the E between the R and the A.
Interesting. That's
What?
bizarre.
What if I type in?
Yeah, would it work for you?
Yeah. What if I type it in?
Oh, okay, it did show up.
Yeah, react. That looks like it
It
works.
looks like
for
it showed
me.
up. Is your E key maybe a little messed up, or
Yeah,
maybe
well,
it's
their E
it's
works.
just for the people commenting and not for? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
I wonder what happened. I'm not sure what happened there. It seems to
Little glitch.
Yeah,
probably.
maybe it was just not working for some
Yeah.
reason.
Where he
But
does
it seems
not
to be
end in
figured
a
out.
happy ending, as he took his own life just at the age
They don't
of
like
20.
it in normal sentences. I wonder.
Try it in a sentence.
Yeah,
Try
put
to-
it in a
You
sentence.
tried in a sentence. Also.
Well, you said yeah. Just try writing react to Casa Loco. Just write that.
Why
word.
don't you try writing it too? Also.
Okay, I'm gonna write it. It might work because I'm doing it from a different thing than YouTube, but let's also see react to Casa. I could just do that. Seems to work. They seem to be okay with only the word.
Well, we
Yeah.
were just able to write react, so try doing it in a sentence again now.
Yeah. Go L-man. Try to put it.
Yeah,
just
try
say
to-
react to anything.
Yeah, because it worked for us, but maybe it
Yeah, but I'm
may-
not on YouTube though.
it may not
Yeah.
work for
It might not
the
work for them.
content creator.
Yeah. He also might just be messing with us, but I don't know.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
okay. We can follow it through. If
Yeah, no,
they
I'm
want us
interested.
to,
This is
whether or not they are. Or
Yeah,
aren't.
yeah. It's just something that happens sometimes. But yeah.
Well, let's for now. Let's just.
Yeah, we'll keep watching the video. F for respect. That's what they're joking here.
Now, our next important date in the femboy history timeline.
Which is actually where the meme like F in the chat came from. Was that game?
Mhm.
Yeah.
the
Most
late
people.
14th to 17th century. During these years, we were in the Renaissance. It began in Italy,
God knows
but
this history. I'm
eventually
so bad
entered
with
other
years.
nations
I did it and it
countries,
got
and eventually
send.
we
I think
had
it works
the
for you
English
because you're the streamers.
Renaissance.
Yeah, just
All
forget
you
it. Go
really
on
need
with
to
the
know
vid.
is that there was a
Huh,
cool
I did it
guy
and it didn't get
named
to
William
send. That's so
Shakespeare.
weird.
He lived from
yeah.
the years
Problem for
1564
another
to
time.
Yeah,
1607.
that's so strange
He lived
though.
under
I'm
the reign
so
of Queen
surprised by
Elizabeth
that. I'm gonna
I,
actually.
which was known as the Elizabethan
let's-
era.
for now-
The
for
Elizabethan
now-
era
Yeah.
lasted from
I just wanna-
1558
I
to
know, I'm not
1603.
trying to-
The reason these years are important is because England saw a
close.
rebirth in national pride, artistic explosion, appreciation, poetry, literature, theater, international expansion, and victories
Yeah,
over
I don't
Spain.
know. Maybe let us
Essentially,
do it, but
England
doesn't let you
was
do it.
popping
Yeah,
off
it
and
could
trying
just
to do
be
whatever they
them.
wanted to
Yeah.
do.
All right,
However,
that's fine. I'm so
when it
sorry
was
that you
time
have
to
that.
do
Yeah, I'm
it,
sorry
we're still
about
looked
that.
under
Yeah.
in value compared to a man.
But by all means, we will
Females
check your
could not
video
be
out
active at
if you
this
want to stick
time.
around after
So,
this.
for Shakespeare's
It's almost
plays and
over.
stories to pop off, they needed men to play the female roles.
Oh yeah,
This
yeah. Of
didn't
course, because women weren't allowed to act.
necessarily make more femboys in this era. However, it may have awoken something in humanity that was not.
I like this is a
present
real history of femboys throughout history.
covered.
This is
Due to men playing and
genuinely
dressing up
educational.
as women, we must now go to Japan in our femboy history timeline. The year
Nice
is
work.
1973, and Japan's manga is popping off,
1973.
but there is one in particular we need to care about. It is called Ara
Oh,
Waga
yeah.
Tono. The reason this manga is important is because it is the first ever manga to create an anime trap. Now, I do understand that the word trap is used as a slur today.
Yeah, I was gonna
However,
say,
let me
it's not a
explain why it's
great
important
word.
to our history. We must
Oh, it's probably
first
because in the manga it was actually that
define
was
what an
part of
anime
the plot.
trap is. An anime trap is a male who purposefully looks female to then trick others as a joke when they find out it's actually a male.
Joke,
One thing to
yeah.
note is that all traps are femboys.
And by joke I mean
I
from
can
the
see,
author's
so I can
perspective.
see.
Not, yeah.
Well, I can see how people might feel a certain way about the term trap because it implies, trap is something negative.
Yeah,
right?
well, yeah, because it's a.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're aware of.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trans people who are sex workers get in trouble that way. Like because
Yeah.
people will go to them knowing, but then they will get freaked out and harm them.
And it's difficult for trans people because sometimes you're in such a position where you might get harmed if you do reveal that you're trans.
Yeah, yeah.
Depending on the community and the people.
Mhm.
So sometimes it can be for your own safety that you don't reveal that. And so in that case, it's not a trap.
No,
You're
it's not.
doing
It's-
that.
it's
for
a-
your safety and
Yeah.
comfort. And also, there's also when it comes to
It was never a real thing.
when
Like,
it, well,
it's-
and when it comes to in the dating world, sometimes women won't want to reveal that they are trans.
Of course,
because
yeah.
people will instantly make a judgment on them based on the fact that they are trans, and that's kind of not fair because
No,
then
yeah,
you
it's
will
not.
kind of overlook everything about the person, and all you'll care about is kind of what genitals they were born with, which
Yeah.
is really kind of like
It's very
an
reductionist.
unfair for these thing for these people to do. So I can understand why a trans person would not want to automatically reveal that
Yeah,
information.
no, I'm totally with that, but I know from researching it that it's literally the same thing as being like, we need to enslave and keep black people under control because they're gonna attack white women. Like that, it's like no, like that might happen once or twice, but that's not a dangerous thing. That's not like a common thing. There's not an actual epidemic of black males assaulting white women. Like that's just
Wait, what's the relation to?
because it's a made up crime that might happen once or twice that they use to just
Okay, so
justify lynching
That's
of
an
trans
example of
people
a
or black
made-up
people.
crime. Okay, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they
okay.
you know, like males will go to a trans sex worker
Yeah.
potentially even knowing that, but then
Right.
when they're done,
and then say, well, they didn't tell me,
Yeah.
so
yeah, I had to like they tricked me. They were a trap, and so I it was for my own defense to kill them.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great word to
No,
use.
it's completely not. Yeah, it's
But not all
generally. I
femboys
mean,
are
obviously,
traps.
you
guys
would
could-
choose for your own life, but it's a very.
I think it's kind of funny
yeah.
when people use it ironically, but looking at really how it ends up being
Yeah.
probably isn't the best word.
It
to
really,
use.
it generally is
Comparison
not.
I can make
When
is
you
from
go
the
into
NFL.
slurs,
All
sometimes
QBs
yeah,
are
they can be really
offensive
bad.
players, but not all offensive players are QBs. Now, not much is known about Arawanga Tono except that it was a slapstick romance with quite a lot.
Yeah,
of
and that's
gender
again the thing.
element.
Is
But the
like
main
that's
rise
this
of
person in 1973 too. So it's like this person who's probably a cis male writer is writing a trans character, and the joke is that they're actually a guy. Ha ha ha. Main character fell for it. Blah blah blah. Fell for
Yeah.
it. You know.
Pretty
Yeah.
tacky.
Yeah. Pretty
Femboys
tacky.
and anime
Indeed.
slash manga was in 1987 with
Yeah,
the release
it's
just
of
not
Ranma.
great.
This
But
anime-
also the thing is that also might the crazy thing is that also might be the only way this person might be.
Oh,
yeah.
this one that's coming up, the Ranma thing. I always thought Ranma was funny because they change genders if they get exposed to water. Have you watched Ranma?
No,
Yeah, this
I've
is cool.
never
You should
seen
look-
it. They both
yeah,
do?
look at
It's
this.
about
No,
Ranma
it's,
Satane.
this person
What?
becomes
The
a
main
woman if they're exposed to water, something like that.
Okay,
They
the main
basically-
character only.
Yeah, they'll
Oh, okay.
boobs will appear, right?
And then they'll change to water again.
and their grandpa or their uncle or something will become a panda if they get exposed to water. So it's cute. It's,
like
a cute
fan-
anime.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cute.
Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Artist
that's.
from
I mean, I do.
Oh, and then that girl, her name is Shampoo with the purple hair.
Purple hair?
And
Her name's
then they
Shampoo.
turn genders when they get in the water. So it's,
Oh.
it's funny. Well,
Yeah.
it's actually Shampoo, but that's the Japanese.
Shampoo, yeah, the way of saying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
who
shampoo
ends
or
up
something
falling
like
in a
that.
hot spring
Potentially, I don't
that
know.
curses
But
whoever
Shampoo,
falls into
shampoo.
it.
Oh, okay.
This curse
Yeah.
makes it so when
Yeah,
Ranma
that is kind of,
splashed
and it
with
is a very
water,
cute.
falls
I mean,
in.
I mean, a lot of anime has that moe kind of cuteness all about it too. Anyway, because they all, I mean, again, all anime characters are either middle school or high schoolers. Anyway,
Right, the way
and
that they design
yeah.
the faces of these characters, you really
Very-
wouldn't be able to tell what gender they
Yeah,
are.
really. They're anyway,
Like,
and that's
so
part of
that's
a
why I
lot
love
of
anime.
things too. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, but it's also that's an interesting part of a lot of what's it called? I forgot what I was going to say, but a lot of weird sort of cultural things and like the obsession of youth and why like the emperor would put the guy in the female clothes because when you're younger, like people just when they're younger and especially pre-puberty, children are very androgynous. They can look both ways. If you have a boy with
Yeah,
long hair,
because they
they'll look like a
haven't
girl.
the hormones haven't kicked
Exactly,
in that
yeah.
give them
So
secondary
their bodies
sexual
are pretty much
characteristics.
exactly the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing too. So
Ends
and then
up
of course
falling
and just it's a cartoon on top of that,
in a
and so
hot
you really
spring
can't tell.
that
They all just have
curses
giant
whoever falls
eyes
into
and they're
it.
very cute.
This curse makes it so when Ranma is splashed with
Yeah.
water or falls into it, his gender changes, becoming a woman
Is
with
that no? That's
That's someone else.
That's someone else.
red
yeah.
hair in particular.
Oh, wait, this is
Generally
someone else.
speaking,
Okay.
this was the first
It's
time
been a while,
people
I
It's been a
had
while.
Yeah.
exposure to femboys. This also caused a lot of inspiration for future characters and shows for other artists. Over in
You remember
America
liking
at
it
this
too?
time from the
Might check it out.
1970s to 1990s.
I remember
we had artists
like watching
David
episodes intermittently and thinking this was cool, but never following the series all the way through.
Yeah,
Bowie.
it might have
By
some
technicality.
sus things too if you look back on it and you just didn't realize, but it might
I
not.
may
too,
not
that's the
have-
thing.
I
You never
may
know.
not have noticed
Yeah,
everything
we just
about
don't know.
it,
Is all I'm
but
saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
a femboy, but he did
But
use gender.
also a
neutral
lot of times, especially it's in the 80s and stuff too. So it's like sometimes even that stuff is like you have to just kind of look over it anyway because it's just a product of its time.
Yeah,
It doesn't
right,
make it
it's a different
okay,
time,
but yeah, it's
yeah.
like that's sometimes the only way to expose these
pronouns.
things anyway.
So
Unfortunately.
we can't say for
But again, I'm also
sure
saying
Oh,
that
I did
in-
not
anyway.
use that. I did not know that David Bowie used gender neutral pronouns. Is that what they're saying?
he
I think
would
they
have
are, yeah.
identified as a femboy.
Yeah,
so
he's
we
saying
can't
he-
say for
I think
sure.
Bowie wouldn't.
He
I
did
don't-
use gender-
I
they
feel-
used
I
gender
feel-
neutral pronouns,
I feel
first
that
of all.
Bowie
Yeah.
wouldn't have identified as a femboy. I feel
No,
like he would have
they
identified
would-
as a femman.
That's true. Yeah, because I mean they use gender neutral pronouns.
That's just what I imagine he would have.
Yeah.
I don't know what he really would have.
I wouldn't know
identified
either,
as. He would have
yeah.
probably said
He
gender
would
is
have
stupid. Let's move on.
I'm sure. Yeah, it is.
Or gender is
Because,
fun.
Yeah,
Let's have
yeah,
fun with it,
exactly.
right?
Yeah, it's stupid fun. Oh wait, what did it? Oh,
I was a femboy
Yeah.
because he died in 2016.
oh yeah. Well, that was a bad
Rest in
time
peace,
to be.
Bowie.
Yeah.
But what we do know is that he did in fact have a severe impact on the rise of femboys in America for the years.
I'm
to
sure,
come,
yeah, I mean, in
as
general,
now
the
gender
80s
and social norms in America would become
Rockers had a
severe.
lot of androgynous stuff in general too.
Just in general, but what I think is interesting is like during like the 80s and 90s, there was like these glam rock guys that would be wearing like boas and lipstick, and then all of these kind of homophobic people would think they were really cool, and then
Yeah, because
it's kind of
they're, like,
bizarre,
the music,
kind
yeah.
of bizarre,
Yeah,
kind of weird. Like,
And I was watching that movie Jennifer's Body. Also, Elman, I have not heard about the Dacia 1300 cars. If you could tell me more about that. The movie Jennifer's Body, which is not so great title, but if
the
you've seen it, it's a,
pieces of Jennifer's body. You know, that's from a whole song, Courtney Love.
oh.
She's had a song called Jennifer's Body.
That probably
Yeah,
that
that's where
explains it too,
comes
because it is
from.
about the rocker people who killed
Yeah.
or like sacrificed her. Great movie, by the way. I saw it recently. It's really good. I mean, I saw it before, but I saw it again recently. It's great. I love it. But I forgot what I was saying with that. But oh yeah, she was like talking like so. Jennifer was attracted to the guys in the band, right? Who and it was like the Maroon 5 guy, and he had makeup on and like stuff like that. But then there was the guy in the movie called Colin who looked like he might have actually been, but I don't know. But he looked like Billy Joel from. The American what's it called? No, I can't think of it. I was gonna say Blink-182. No, it's the American Idiot guys. The
Billy Joel Green Day.
Green Day. Yes,
yeah.
I don't know why I couldn't think
Yeah,
of that, but
yeah.
he. I'll see if I can just look it up. But he reminded me of it. But so this guy Colin in school. yeah, so he's very, like a scene emo guy, right? And he wanted to go out with Jennifer, which I thought was kind of strange. I thought he would be more attracted to the main character's girl, but anyway, he was just a victim. But so he was in high school and he looks like that, right? But then the lead singer of Maroon 5, who I can't think of the name, but I'll just do that. Or maybe it wasn't him. I don't know. I thought it was Maroon 5 guy, but well, let's see. So Jennifer's Body. I thought it was Maroon 5. I could be wrong. Jennifer's Body Band. I don't know if that'll. I guess it is him, but I don't know who that guy is. But so this guy, I thought he was the Maroon 5 guy. I'm totally wrong then. But so he's not as like overt as Colin, but there's other guys in the band that look pretty similar to Colin. And she was not interested in Colin, but she was like, oh, these guys look like.
Who acted in Jennifer's Body?
It was Megan Fox and
That's my girl.
yeah, this girl who I forget her name. I don't remember
That's
this.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
It was Megan Fox.
Yeah.
She's actually. I'm really excited. She's publishing a book of poetry in I think
Megan?
November. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm really
excited about that just because it's people have been sleeping on Megan Fox.
It's been a while.
So
yeah.
she's dating Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, I don't know if I like him though.
I haven't really thought much about him, so I don't know. If
I liked him when
what
he was a rapper, but
what I do like is I like how much she loves him, and I like
Okay.
and so
I'm
actually
worried.
so well listen. So her
I'm
book
listening.
of poetry is kind of marketed as a book of dark poetry, and
Yeah.
in the description of the book, she says that she's met and dated a lot of guys with different issues, and she's kind of almost taken on their darkness and their sins type of thing. And
I like the way he looks, but
so what I think is cool about it is that I think that a lot of us end up dating kind of bad boys, and it's in part because we sympathize with the struggles that they've gone through that led them to become bad boys types of things.
Yeah,
So,
well, everybody
you can
likes a
tell-
little bit of danger.
Well, you can tell that what I'm saying is you can tell that Megan Fox is a very compassionate person.
Yes.
And I do think that their relationship is very meaningful, and I think that
Similar
a
hair.
lot of women can relate to the kind of dynamic that she has with Machine Gun Kelly, and so I'm really excited to kind of see those poems and see how
Yeah,
those
I'm excited
relationships
for
that a
that
lot
too
of
now.
us have had are reflected in that poetry. So I'm excited about that.
That is very interesting. I did not know about that, so I'm excited about that too. Now that I'm telling. But I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of Machine Gun Kelly. I'll tell you a little bit. But so let's see. I could probably. So the Dacia 1300 Roman pronunciation Dacia is a modern medium-sized family car that was built during the Cold War by Romanian automaker Dacia. The 1300 stands for the engine displacement. The first Dacia 1300 assembly line on. Okay, that's interesting. But
What is this related to?
yeah, I'm not sure what that has to do with
Well,
what we're
let's
talking
get
about.
back to the
yeah, we'll
video,
go back
okay?
to yeah.
All right.
But I just wanted to say about Machine Gun Kelly that he has some good lyrical skills, I will say. But
Yeah.
he gives me a bit of a kind of like.
Is Machine Gun Kelly a femboy? Would we consider him a femboy?
I don't
Let's look
think
up,
so.
Actually, let's.
I think
let's,
Little Peep
wait,
might
wait,
be
wait.
though. I think Little Peep would be
Well, let's
more
go.
open to
Let's
that.
write Machine Gun Kelly femboy. I want to see if he has any femboy moments.
Okay, let's see.
Okay.
I feel like he's a bit of a poser.
Let's
Like I think
see.
I think that. Nothing really. It's the same.
I remember.
pictures.
I thought I saw. I think he wears a lot of pink. That's a little bit femboy-y.
Yeah, well, I definitely think he's in touch to his somewhat emotional side, but I
Yeah.
think I could be totally
the
wrong.
thing is that we don't know him
Yeah, I
as
don't-
a person.
I don't know
We've
him
never
as a
met
person.
Him. We haven't really. I have personally never invested much time in researching him. But let's get back to the video for
Yeah,
now.
oh, here's some pink. But well, I do want to say that like I just want to finish. Basically, he released an album called like Sellout or something like that, mainstream Sellout, and it's like I get that as like a joke, but I think that it was kind of like unironically what he kind of did. Like I think that he like because I listened to it and it was just like I don't know, it just seemed like bro. I
I've
don't know.
never even listened to his music.
Yeah, so
Or
it's fine.
consciously,
Yeah,
at least.
so I
Yeah.
have, so that's why I'm a
Really
little bit. I could be
different.
wrong though.
Now, in 2004,
Well,
on
also I would
Six
say, oh man, yeah, sure, why not? That's cool stuff. It's just unrelated, so it's but it's interesting to know. I'll look it up perhaps.
4chan, people were trying to spread around and
about
create
the
the
car
best
stuff.
meme possible. And yeah, you know that
it's fun to
one
have you here. We
Admiral
appreciate
Ackbar
your
from Star
your
Wars?
work.
So yeah, this
Yeah.
meme blew up in the anime community.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
made a
the
lot
trap
of
meme
people
did blow
angry
up, and that
slash
was-
frustrated by getting debated.
Yeah, like that was that was the thing too, was that a lot of a lot of people made memes about it. It was like, yeah, but like the joke is like, this is an attractive female looking person, but like, now you're gay, but like no, like it doesn't like you just find this person attractive, like it doesn't really. Also, this guy is fucking Ron DeSantis.
I think it's funny, actually, when people are like really befuddled by femboys and trans people because they're like, oh, why are they so hot? Does this mean I'm gay?
Yeah, right.
What is
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
No, it
It's
can't be.
No, yeah, right. Yeah. The issue though is that like, I mean, that's funny, but like, yeah, the issue is that that's where a lot of violence can come from.
So
because
yeah, I
it's
think that
not taken heavily.
I think that it's changing, that people aren't having that reaction as much as they used to.
Yeah,
be having
definitely.
that, yeah.
But unfortunately, as
you
a
get it,
result
you get
of
it a little bit, but it's
there's a lot more resistance.
There's definitely
but-
a lot less of that today.
Yeah,
than
yeah,
there
yeah,
was.
it's
a lot less of
it's-
that.
it's
I mean,
just
just
the resistance
LGBT
comes as-
acceptance has improved,
Skyrocketed.
skyrocketed. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just that as a result, as minorities of all kinds start to get rights, then there's a reactionary.
Well, here's
tendency
the
to try to
thing
pull
is
it back
that
down,
the
but-
oppression is becoming increasingly more subtle, right?
Well, that, but also actually a lot more overt. If you look into the Republican Party,
In a
they
way.
are full on like
No.
trans people are like pedos, and like they're trying to take away your children. It's a complete projection. That's the Republicans are the pedos.
There's
that
a
are
little
taking your children.
bit of that, but they've probably always been saying.
They've always been saying that, but that's like their full. That's like their main.
I think it's now we're hyper
thing.
focused on it.
Yeah, no,
right?
they
We're
want
hy-
to bring
we're
because
hyper-
they don't have any actual policies.
right. They don't, so they need to use
Yeah,
kind of
they bring out
reactionary
fear.
statements
Yeah,
and
so-
propaganda.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that's why Florida and Ron DeSantis, which is I brought him up because he's basically
Yeah.
Homelander
Like,
without
let's find the most triggering thing to say about trans people as possible,
and
so
just
that,
stoke people's fears.
so
Yeah.
that we can do that, right?
Yeah, and actually it sucks because I have a friend who's a great person. She's just had kids though, but like the thing is she's my real good friend, and my sister is trans and stuff like that. But she was like, well, like I just don't think that kids need to know about that. It's like, what, you don't think that kids need to know about human beings?
Yeah, I mean the thing is that
They
kids,
connect-
because of how accessible everything is on the internet and phones, they will inevitably be
Yeah, that's
exposed to
absolutely true.
diversity, and
Yeah.
so it's a little bit kind of, of course I think that it's important that you don't expose your kids unduly to a lot of things. You don't want to expose them to
obviously, yeah.
violence or anything like that.
A lot more of the normalized shit is the problem.
Yeah, but like for a kid to be exposed to like gender fluidity, like
Yeah,
is
because
relevance?
yeah,
Like-
what they say is that it's all sexual. It's not.
Oh
That's the
no!
thing.
So
Yeah,
that's the thing
what
is
they say,
that
though.
gender
They know it's
identity
not.
and
Yeah.
sexuality are two totally different things.
Yeah, no,
Gender
100%.
expression,
They
yeah.
don't want people to know that. They
Right.
want people to think that they're the same thing.
Right.
So they want
right,
people to think
right.
that trans
by
people
making
existing
by
is inherently
making
sexual.
but by making that link, they're able to really do.
Yeah,
They're able to
and
do
pull
some
on people's
fear-mongering
wires.
there.
Yeah, because again, but
Yeah.
even again, it's like sex is a part of life. Like it's how people get created. Like before puberty, you don't necessarily need to know the mechanics of it. You can just be like, oh, it's a stork. It's whatever. It's kids. But like it's when they get to like 4 or 5 or 6 even. Like I was in like elementary school when I started to get like health class that had puberty stuff. So it's like
It's funny, when I was
Yeah.
in elementary school, my parents didn't want me learning about sex.
Exactly, that's the
Yeah,
thing. It's
they
like-
took
it's
me.
like
They
that
took
makes
me
it
out of.
worse.
They took me out of class, so I didn't get sex education. I had to. My dad would watch like the Man Show, and like I would watch
Jesus.
it, and that's where I learned about sex.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh, that's okay. They'll take you
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
school
yeah,
to show you the man
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Yeah. See,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, how is the show where they're like, titties are great. That's the less
girls
sexual.
on trampolines,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
the
What
man show.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like that's so. Like, how is that okay? But the school is not, because they are instilling fear into people because they want them to be shamed. They want them to be fearful
They're
because
just,
that's how you
they're
control people.
confused.
Yeah, but
They're
no, but they
confused.
want them confused because that's how you
They
control people.
themselves are confused.
Yeah,
They
the
themselves are
people
confused.
are confused, and also the people in charge are confused, but they also are confused because they are wrong, but they know very not
Well,
confused
it's
how
just,
to control
a
people.
lot of oppression I think stems from ignorance. So
It does,
They haven't
yeah.
done a lot of research. They haven't been exposed to very much.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing is that though on the highest level, they are not ignorant. They know what they're doing. They're often because the
I
thing is,
don't think all of
psychopathy-
them do.
I don't think all of them do.
A lot. I think truly a lot of them don't, or they avoid thinking about certain things, which causes a gap in them that manifests as ignorance.
Well, they don't think of others as people is the problem. That's like they can just compartmentalize that.
Why do you think that is?
Because the problem is capitalism rewards predatory behavior. It rewards the fuck you got mine mentality. Like charging people as much as you possibly can to get money, and that's how you make a transaction.
I think that maybe capitalism is a part of that, but I think just this is a lot. A lot
Well,
can
it's
be
all
done. A
control.
lot can be done on the cultural front. That is, a lot can be done on the cultural front. Whether
I'm talking about capitalism, but it's just the power of hierarchy, like that feeling of control, and because all control is forcing your insecurities to externalize onto other people, and just the ability to do that with money.
I
power,
think
and
it's
things like that.
possible that even within an enclosed environment where capitalism wasn't related, that it is still possible that people would have ignorances. I think it's possible.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying that. Yeah, no, I'm not saying it's only capitalism. I'm saying
Yeah.
that it's hierarchy and just the power structure. Like
Oh,
the
so
fear-based
perhaps
power.
like the desire for power
Yeah.
adds to that?
Yeah,
Okay.
the desire
Yeah,
for power
I can see
is
that.
literally just the insecurity of I don't have enough power. It's like I don't have enough control, so I need more. I need to take others' control so that I have it. Like I want to be in control. I don't want anyone else to be in control. I want to be in control. And it's all just, it is literally just like a subconscious fear of lack of control. Now, I'm not a psychologist, but I'm like 90% sure that that's where it comes from. And it externalizes in different ways, but I think that that's like the seed that activates it. And it can be justified and re-examined and just all kinds of value mixing. But I think that because that's all, like, because why would you want to externalize your power on other people if for any other reason besides feeling that you don't have enough control? Why? Like it's actually like the Hegelian master-slave dynamic, which is so basically Hegel was like, people cannot, so the way you get self-awareness, right, is that there's two people.
Well, what is the desire for power, right? If
Yeah.
not a fear of being
Powerless.
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's comes from that. It's just it's that fear that's controlling you to do that. Because fear is a very powerful emotion. That's why you control people with fear. It's a lot easier to control people with fear than it is to, because when you can't control people with love,
Right.
because then
If
they're
you-
doing their own thing.
Yeah, like if you know that somebody is afraid of you, you feel that you don't need to be afraid of them.
Yeah.
This is the idea, but
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, they might be do something, but if they're
Doesn't
afraid of
really-
you, you can exert power over them. You can make them do things because they're afraid of you. But they won't like it though.
Yeah.
But that's the other thing too, is some people like that feeling of, I don't get it, but people like that feeling of when others don't like it. But it's usually a reflection of them not liking themselves. When people enjoy, like, because again, they say that most like essay assault is I just don't want to say the word too because it's not great for the internet thing. It can get the stream like in trouble to use those words. But a lot of that is about power more than it is about the actual sex part of it. It's about the power of controlling another person. is where like psychologists say that. I've like that's like a documented thing. That it is like the sexual component of an assault is there, but it's more about power. It's more about controlling that other person, forcing them to do something that they really do not want to do.
Or it is to be totally indifferent to a person having or not having power. I think in like the case of certain kinds of...
Well, I don't think it's indifference, because if it's indifference, you wouldn't care. It's the indifference to their humanity.
Yeah, it's an indifference, because I was just thinking of that. Who is that person who...
You also have and I have this too. It's very... I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you do have a very, and this is good, I like this, it's a very benevolent view of people. You have like that seed of goodness in everybody, which I believe in too, but there are people that have completely killed it, and they just need to, I think that they'll reincarnate and they'll have it again, but I think that in some people's lives, like they're just too old and they're too entrenched in the power.
I believe that change is possible at any point in a person's
Well,
life.
that's why we were talking about this earlier with the jails and anarchist society that I was explaining, how it would just be rehabs, because all crime is a mental health and poverty issue. So they wouldn't have jails, they would just have rehabs, and there are some people that just need to be taken out of society, because the thing is, you need to give...
The expressions of these ignorances are an expression of the state of the mind.
Yeah.
And so the state of your state of mind is, what's the word? Mercurial. It is subject to change. It's subject to movement, thought. So I think that people are always able to change if they want to.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, because it's neuroplasticity. The brain is things. I think so too. I mean, but there are people who have
it can be very difficult. Well, it can be very
Well,
it can be very difficult to change for people who don't have metacognition. They're not aware of the way that they're thinking, right?
Yeah.
They don't think about the way that they're thinking.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
And so you really have to be aware that the way that you think affects what you think.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And a lot of people, a lot of people say that don't overthink. But I mean,
don't always overthink.
I personally don't think I ever overthink. I think I think. I will sit.
I definitely think that I do.
For me, I don't really think I do. I think that when I think for a long period of time, eventually I come to deeper understandings of things. So I think using the term overthinking is really just used because sometimes people will have cyclically negative types of thinking, right?
Let me explain it like this, and I think you're right. But what I say when I overthink is an example like where you're with somebody, and let's just use an example of like a potentially romantic situation where you think like, oh, this is like, you can feel a sort of connection and like a sort of I'm trying to think, like a chemistry there,
right?
But like I would be very like,
but you're not sure if they also feel that way.
You're not 100%
and so
sure.
you keep asking yourself, do they? Am I misinterpreting this action?
Exactly.
But is there a better? I just don't like the I don't like the phrase overthinking.
Yeah, no.
I think there's ways of thinking a lot that could be beneficial to helping you understand the situation, but probably not without input. You probably, in a case like that, it might be good. Like say that if you were having that experience with a person, it would probably be good to be able to say that to them and then process it together and figure it out. If you were able to be open enough with them and you were both comfortable with that, because then you wouldn't have to call it overthinking. It would be processing.
There are. Yeah, but there are over processing in that like you can like say you're in
it's
a
almost
sport.
like thought samsara, right?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You'll
It
just
traps you.
You'll re-go over the same thought over and over again, and you won't make any progress.
Yeah, it paralyzes you. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like if you are like in a gym class and you're not a very sport oriented person,
you keep repeating the same affirmations to yourself over.
Yeah,
these desolate mantras essentially.
Yeah,
right?
and like you'll see the ball coming at you, and you're like, oh no, what do? I know I'm supposed to catch it, but like, oh, I can't catch it. I know I'm not going to catch it. Oh, I don't know what to do, and then you end up getting hit. Whereas it's better to just let your body go and do it, because sometimes that's the best way to do it. Because because going back to the sort of romantic situation, when you over
how did we get from femboys to this?
Yeah, I think it was harsh. I don't remember, but I was thinking about like it's quite a jump that we've gone. We've gone away from things.
I wanna finish this video only because I have to go to the bathroom soon. So.
Yeah. You can go to the bathroom.
Can
now
I go
if
to
you
the
want.
bathroom?
Yeah.
But can I go to the bathroom and then also have a cigarette? I want a cigarette.
Yeah. I guess in that case we can just finish the video and then do that, and then we can maybe do some more, or we can just be done for the night. But I did want to say something about overly intellectualizing the romantic situation takes away all the emotion from it.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying, and that's where it becomes an issue.
Definitely.
Yeah. And you're just overly thinking about it, and then it becomes.
So it has almost been 20 years since anime traps got
void of
severely
all meaning,
recognized
really.
in America. So what is the popularity
And I would
of
consider that to be
femboys today? Well, if you were to ask me, if you use social media, it is almost impossible.
It sounds like
not
he's
to
speaking
spot them.
slowly. Did we
have had
turn
huge
down the
streamers
speed of
like
the
femboys
recording?
No,
who have
it's
increased
not.
their
That's
popularity
yeah, so he's just talking
severely
calmly.
online.
Yeah.
Although
that's why
Finster says
I
it
wanted to go faster.
Or he may
is a
have
joke,
like
but
slowed down
sometimes
how
it is
maybe he
really
was
hard
talking
to
really
tell.
fast, so slowed it down for the video or something like that.
He could be. No, I think he was.
It's
just
irrelevant.
slow.
At
Yeah,
the
it is
moment,
irrelevant.
so.
Bad question, I guess, but like,
Oh, Finster. There we go.
Finn is,
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Finn goes by he, him, right?
All right, thanks for watching my history project for school. But before that, I will give you an important quote to remember from this project. It comes from a wise man named Giguk. Sometimes it takes a real man to become best girl. Now you
love
might be
that.
asking, "Femboys gay?"
So what does it say?
Well-
Sometimes you have to be
A real man.
a real man to be the best girl. That was
a real man to
great.
be
I
the
love
best
that.
girl.
That's a good way to end the video.
All right. Yes. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
All right.